Still only two left. Two left and a teenager. I can barely see them. Each one has a baby feeding them. And there's the teenager to the left. Hi everyone, welcome back to Glitz and Glitter. I have another jar today. So I'm going to do the same technique, the marbling technique that I just did the other day in black and white, but today I'm going to use blue and white. And the reason I'm redoing this is one of these are deep pour and one of these are not a deep pour. So this top lid, which has this little knob on the top, this top lid holds 8 ounces of resin. I'm going to mix this up in the deep pour resin, and this one holds 5 ounces, which is the bottom, but this does not need deep pour because it's so thin around the edges. So I'm going to mix them up and see if they come out the same, to see if I can use 2 different resins in the same project and have them match at the end. So I'm going to be using my Castin Craft blue pigment. I think it's called blue. I don't see a name on here, but it's definitely blue. And the white. So instead of the black and white, which came out absolutely beautiful, we're going to try a blue and white one. And I'll get some resin mixed up and we'll get started. I've got my 5 ounces of 1-to-1 resin for the bottom portion in here. I've got my 8 ounces of my deep pour resin, which is very watery, in here. And I've already separated the whites, the 2 different ones. This is the 1-to-1 ratio. This is the deep pour. So I got the whites as close as I can. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to move this for a moment. I want to try to mix the blues together, because I do want the blues to match, and there's different ratios here, so I can't just like count the drops because that's not going to work, because there's a lot more of that one and it's a less viscosity than this one. So I do want to mix them together just so I can, I don't even think I opened this one yet. I'll be right back. I might have to cut this tip off. These are really hard to squeeze. 4, 5. Let's just put another one in. 6, even though counting probably doesn't make a difference, but I'll start somewhere. I want a nice deep cobalt blue. And that is way too transparent. This cannot be transparent. I'm going to just go cut the tip of this off so it can come out a little faster. That's better. This might take a lot more than that black. This is not as concentrated as their black was. So I'm just going to get these 2 mixed up off camera because this could take a little while to get them the same. So I will come back as soon as it's done. I think I got them pretty close. I'm just going to put them next to each other on this paper towel and see if I'm right. So I think that's pretty close. Obviously that one's a little thicker, but that's I really wanted it more opaque than it's getting. And I don't want a drop of black because I want the blue color that this is. I really like this color. So I'm just going to go with this. Okay, let me move this stuff out of the way. Then we're going to marble this together, get my mold back over here. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take this white and mix it pretty good. And the whites were pretty easy to do because white is white. And it's opaque very simply. I'm just going to take the white and I'm going to pour it in here. Just kind of randomly. Take my stick and just kind of mix it like that. And then pour it. I'm going to pour it slowly. Just kind of move it around just to break up that pattern that it started pouring. I don't really want a pattern. I want a random marbly look. You know what I mean. Now just kind of keep an eye on the bottom of your mold. Check for any bubbles that you might see. So what I'm trying to experiment with is to see how well the 1-to-1 ratio resin holds this marbling effect as opposed to the deep pour resin. I'm not sure that the deep pour resin will hold the marbling because it cures. It takes a lot longer to cure, a couple days. So I really won't have an answer for you. It's a split second, but for me, it's going to be killing me for the next couple days to know what happens. I don't know why this was not filled up because I did measure it. For some reason, I'm going to have to mix a little bit more. Darn it. I know I measured this in this cup, so I'm not sure what's going on. It might be okay. I just like to have it to the top. I don't like that piece that's sticking out. Okay. Anyway, let me do this one. And I really hope it works. I don't want to waste this much resin. To see that it's not going to work. Oh, that went right in. Because that white is a lot heavier. Mix it up. Not a lot because it's going to mix on its own. All right. Now I'm going to pour slow into that knob because I don't want a bubble in there. I think I'm going to pick it up and squish it around before I move on. Doesn't look too bad from underneath. I'm just going to go ahead and finish. This one holds a lot of resin. It's going to be a heavy lid. 8 ounces of resin in this lid. And you do want to pour to the top just to give it that lip so it'll fit inside of the bottom piece. You don't want to... Like, I'm not too concerned that this one's not completely full because that's not fitting into anything. Okay. Almost overfilled. Actually, I'm going to take a scoop out. Don't want to overfill it. All right, so I'm going to spray it down with my alcohol. Pop any bubbles. And I think this one I'm just going to leave. I might rig something just to hold that in. I don't know. Maybe I won't. I don't want it to get ruined even more. All right. That's it, guys. Just make sure all these edges, like right here, I see, might have a bubble up underneath it. Yes, it did. Just go along your edge. I see a bubble on that side. And I see one on this side. Just mix that resin in there. Not mix it, just push it in there. I see it in all the corners, so that should be good. All right, time to cure. See you in a bit. This was cleaned out in like a minute and a half. If you want to know how I do these so quickly, there's a link in my description. There's several things in my description. So there is a quick video for you beginners that want to know how to clean your silicone cups. So go ahead and click that link and you will be grateful that you did. Time to unmold, guys. Everything's cured. I did unmold the top, which is sitting over there because that one was really, really hard to get out of the mold because this piece here. So if you do get this mold, this was hard to get out too, these corners, but once you got the corners out, this you definitely need to spray with soapy water or alcohol or something to get it out because you don't want to break this piece off pulling too hard, and this is pretty thick silicone, so definitely be careful. So this one, I'm just going to unmold the bottom, and then we will compare the results of the top and the bottom. Remember, the top was the deep pour, the bottom was just normal medium viscosity 1-to-1 resin. I'm just going to get this off. Sorry if it's out of frame, but it's not always easy, as you know. Okay, let me get my mold back together. And we're going to start with the top. Hang on a minute. Make sure you put your molds back together fairly quickly. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Now the top. And I don't know what it is, but there are these cracked lines. And I checked my mold and I didn't see any flaws in it. See how it almost looks aged, which is, I'm okay with that. But the marbling didn't come out as white as I wanted it to, and I don't know, like it's all gone on this side of it, which is no big deal, but at least you could see some. But I think it has to do with the deep pour resin being super thin, and it kind of just, I don't know, the white kind of sunk into the blue. But at least I do have a little bit. I hope the glare's not too bad. I don't like these under cabinet lights on this. Can you see that? And then these like fault lines. I'm not sure where those came from. I've never seen that before. So that's the top. Okay. Now this, on the other hand, this is what I was going for. I wish the top looked like that. Even the inside is great. It seems to have like the same pattern in each corner. You see that? That's kind of weird. But Yeah, I'm super happy with this bottom piece. It's a pretty decent sized jar too, and they cured different colors I see now. Yeah, I'm wondering if I can do this with the 1-to-1 ratio resin. I think I might try it just to get a matching lid. So anyway, there's a few lessons learned today with your deep pour and your medium viscosity 1-to-1 resin. I hope you learned something because I certainly did. I will see you guys tomorrow. I hope you have a blessed day. Just stay around and check out the finishing photos. All right, bye-bye.